Hi guys, okay, welcome back. How to Tuesday. Okay, today, I wonder what we're gonna work with. Maybe some pan pastels. Actually, not all of these. I wanted to brag about my daughter slash assistant and her awesomeness. She took the time this week to label every single thing. She had to hand cut them because they didn't quite fit perfectly, but she labeled all of them that I have, and so I had to brag. And not only did she do that, she also made this, because this is a little, for me, my brain doesn't work like this, and I look at it and go, I have no idea what these colors mean. Not even a clue. I can read them, but they don't, the thing is, they don't look like what the color isn't what you would, what they're called sometimes, so it makes no sense to me. So she also made me these fabulous keys. Yes. Aren't they beautiful? Look at them all. Look at them. So pretty. So now I can just look at this and go, okay, that's what I want. Bada boom, bada bing. Done. Okay, so that's that. So I had to brag. All right. And I also wanted to show you that I finally got my pastel mat. Was a little disappointed because I didn't realize the size. I thought it was bigger. And I also didn't realize that I only got dark green, light green, dark blue, and white. I thought I was getting earth tones or something. I was way off. But I finally have it, and I'm going to make it work. This is what it looks like. I'm going to say it kind of feels like cardstock, much thicker than cardstock. It actually reminds me of like mat board on a picture frame. Looks like it reminds me of that a little bit, but it has a very fine tooth. Now with this, you're not supposed to have to fin or seal it when you're done using it, so we'll see. So I'm going to create a project using this, and I have decided I'm not going to reinvent the wheel with my projects or my drawings, so I'm going to do one of my oldies but goodies. I love her. This is Tink's sister, and I'm going to use the dark green, and I'm going to, I also got some of this really cool white transfer paper, and I'm just going to transfer her on there. The pack that I got of white transfer paper came with this pack of different, I'm totally drawing a blank. I cannot remember what they're called, but you use them to trace. So I'm just going to use them, and they have different size heads and tips. I'm totally drawing a blank, but I'll put it in. I'll link the pack to it in the description box. And I have decided that this is my favorite size tip. There's a bunch of different ones, and I think that if you are someone who's playing with the pastels, the pan pastels, it's important to figure out. I'm going to grab a couple different ones to figure out like which is your favorite. So like there's a pointy one. And there's a more ovally round, like a wider one, and then there's a square one. I've used all of them, obviously, they're dirty, but this one I like it, I think, because it has a wider base, but it also narrows off, so I'm able to get into the smaller bits easier. And then if I really need to get into tiny bits, I have this little guy right here to play with to get into small bits. But this guy really covers most of it, truthfully. Covers most of the job. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it. So I suggest that you guys find one of your favorite sketches, trace it out. Also, before we go any further, you guys, if you do not have pastels, I have a lot of people in my group who are, there's a handful, it's like 50-50 almost, where a bunch of you are jumping on the bandwagon with me and finding out that they absolutely are amazing and falling in love just as I have with the pan pastels. And I have my Stabilo all chalk pastel pencils, which I will be using as well, and my charcoals. And then I have my new Diane Townsend handmade soft pastels. I have these bad boys, which the colors, you guys, are so delicious. Just absolutely delicious. So, but you're finding that you too are falling in love with them. But if you do not have these materials, this idea still will work with acrylic paint. It'll still work with colored pencil. It'll still, yes, you won't have the pastel matte paper, but you can use anything. So if you like the image, I will also link this image in the description box as well, so you guys can use it if you choose to. If you wanted to play with pastels or colored pencils or Neocolor, or you guys, anything I do I always consider it a jumping off point. If you don't have the materials, yes, you're here to learn and I'm here to show you, but if you don't have it for the time being, don't think, ugh, I can't do it. Go ahead, give it a shot, use a different medium. That's the part. No matter what it is you're practicing, it's still a skill that you're learning. You're still building that toolbox of muscle memory and supply, muscle memory with the drawing and muscle memory with the the products that you're using. It's none of it goes to waste. So don't think that you can't do it. If you decide that you're interested and would like to play with the pan pastels, I would get the portrait kit that they sell, because there is a lot of portrait work on Next Gen, and I do a lot of portrait work in YouTube. So I would get the portrait kit that they sell, and they have a good selection of skin tones, and that's a really good basis to work with, to get a feel for them, to see if you fall in love with them or not. And then, like I said, the Stabilo, Carbothello chalk pastel pencils. As you know, I've talked about them for months now. I'm completely obsessed with them and my pastels, and now this is my new obsession. All of them go hand in hand beautifully together. I have been using the Fine Art Fixative by Krylon. It works pretty good, but it's not, like, I don't want to have to do 75 layers to make it stay. So I purchased a couple more to play with. I also, I'm really tentative to try them on pastel, or when I work on pastel, because sometimes the sprays change, you know, it kind of models the pastel and changes the color a little bit. The Fine Fixative on certain papers, like when I use my, hang on, I'm gonna grab it really quick. Like this is the 184 pound cardstock. It's on a Strathmore Tantone paper. It didn't change it when I sealed. Like this, all of this is paper. These 4 pieces are paper, but the rest is all pastel except for these 2. Everything else is Pan Pastel and Carbothello, Stabilo Carbothello pastels. And it didn't change the color. But when I use my sanded paper, hang on, let me grab it. I don't actually have any sanded paper to show you, but I mean the finished piece, but this is my UArt pastel paper, sanded paper dark. I have like a sand color, like a tan sand color, and then a dark color. I've only worked on the dark ones. And it's not bad, but it kind of softens the color a little bit. But I've also read that you don't need to seal on this and also on the pastel mat. It's because it's the way it's built, it's actually pastel paper, so it's supposed to hold the pigment. Now that they're on the sanded UArt, there is a bit of buildup, just a tiny bit of dust that's created. I have not played with pastel mat, so this is going to be first time for both of us, or for me, showing you how it works. I didn't practice beforehand. I'm just going to go in and do it with you, so it's a real experience. So you guys are getting my reaction to it. So, but this and this, you're not supposed to have to spray. I still get a little leery because this did kick up a little dust. So I just wanted to make sure, because I did sell a bunch of pieces recently that was on this. It worked okay, but it's just a different background. So it's just playing with the fixatives that work best with whatever paper. So like I said, I purchased a couple more. Right now I cannot remember the name, but when I do get them, I will. I did a little research, and there was like top 5, and I already had a couple of the best sealers for pastels, and I've purchased a couple more to see if those actually work. And if you hear the sirens in the background, I'm sorry. I live by a fire station. So yeah, I'm going to play. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel with a drawing, because the goal of this is to play with the mediums on this pastel mat, which I'm very excited about. Very, very excited about, because I've heard great things about it. I've also read some stuff where people are like, I actually like the sanded paper better. So we'll see, you know, and I'm sure I'm not going to not use this, because this stuff is expensive. That's the other thing, is that the pastel mat is a bit pricey, and it took almost a month to get to me, which I am not that patient. I had to be, but it's here, so I'm doing a project. Okay. Yeah, I will link everything if I can find it. I will link it and put it in my description box of this video. If you like the How To Tuesdays and are enjoying the videos, please like and subscribe and join, and click that bell so that you get personal notifications. Also, please join us over at Next Generation Art on Facebook. It is my group of fabulous artists, and I throw up three weekly prompts every week at least, and we get to have some fun and play. Okay guys, all that will be linked in the description box as well. All right, let's get started. Thanks. Bye. Hi guys. Okay, so I finished the piece before I show you the video, the tutorial. Pastel mat. I will say there was low dust, which was very cool. It took a lot more coats than my sanded UArt sanded paper did, and it also, which the sanded paper did as well, it kind of shreds your foam pieces. So I don't have a clue as to how, because I've never played with this before, and the sanded paper I've done it a few times, but I don't think there's any way around it. It does kind of chew up your pads almost to the point where you can maybe use it one more time on a project, but after that, they're done. It's because there's a tooth to it. This, although the sanded paper feels like sanded paper, like a really fine grit. This, there's a texture to it, but it's really finite. It's really finite. Do I love Pastel Matte? Kind of still out on it. I did not like, I don't know if you noticed, like it took me a lot of layers to build up the skin tone, and maybe that's just the way it is. I don't think it's a user problem. I think it's the product, and I don't think it's a problem per se. It could be more just me as a patient thing. But I didn't like that it took me so long to build up layers. I love layers, but it just felt like I was never going to get there over, and I had to keep adding and adding and adding and adding. Now, what I do like about working on dark background paper is having some of the stuff like where, you know, because I did the transfer and I had all the white lines. I liked the white lines, but I wish that this was a black paper, because I would have left the line, like the space in between the two colors, that line, I would have left that black and not done all of this black. Do I hate it? No, I like the black, but I would have preferred it be the paper that was the black lines instead of me putting in the black lines. So, I don't know. Working on it, I was a little frustrated. I do like the finished product. I don't know. I'm not quite sure, you guys. I think it really got me with the layers. You know, I think it took too many layers, whereas the sanded paper, it doesn't. I don't need to add as many layers, which I like because, one, I'm not destroying my thing as quickly, and two, I'm not going through so much pan pastel or chalk pastel pencil. I do like how it laid. This is the same thing for the sanded paper too, but I do like when I put in color, it was rich and vibrant and almost kind of could be conceived as creamy a little bit. Yeah. Do I hate it? No. Do I absolutely love it and I'll never use anything else? Absolutely not. It might be one that I go to from time to time. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. I really like the sanded paper too. It could be because I used the sanded paper first and it really, you know, holds this bold pigment really well. But yeah, it took me a long time to build up the skin. I mean, you can even see here, I don't mind it showing through though, so it's I kind of left it. But you know, that was like, I put like 4 layers, at least 4 layers of pigment down here, and I can still see some of the green paper showing through. So yeah, I don't know if that's good feedback or not. I think it is. I would still, as I always say, do your own experiment first. Definitely try it also. I mean, yes, I can tell you what I like, but I would say try it at least. Again, this is not inexpensive. This is pretty pricey, so I would go with sanded paper first. You will get the same awesome effect with the sanded pastel paper. The UART sanded pastel paper. Pastel Matte's awesome, but too pricey. I think it's way too expensive. I probably won't be buying it again. I might down the road buy like just a pad of the black, just black, and be done with it, because I really like the black pigment in the background. But yeah, I think I'll stick with my sanded pastel, or the sanded pastel paper. So anyways, I just wanted to show you and tell you my thoughts, a little bit of feedback. That's what this channel is all about. So, and I do like, however, and I could do this on the sanded too, that if there is chalk, you can erase it and get rid of it. Now, a little tip, when you do erase inside, like if I had a little overlap, and like here I had some overlap and I erased it, the eraser dust doesn't just blow away. You have to be really gentle and delicate when you pull it away, or you end up smearing. So just keep that in mind. I have a mono Tombow eraser, what I would have used, but I couldn't find it, so I just used this instead. Same idea, but it's not as much dust because it's tinier. But it does erase, which is the plus. Yay! Okay, so that's it. That's my first venture into Pastel Matte. I don't hate it. I don't absolutely adore it. I love the way it turned out. I will say thumbs up to that. I do love that it holds that pigment and it's really rich and beautiful, but that's also the beauty of the pastels as well. So, yeah. Okay, we're gonna get started. Enjoy the video. I can't wait to see what you guys do. Remember, it does not have to be in chalk pastel. It could be in acrylic, markers, neocolors, colored pencil, whatever it is, graphite, whatever it is. Okay, have fun, you guys. Bye. you.